There we go. How are we doing today? We're going to give it a few seconds for people to get in. Let me go over to my iPad here and get this going. 30 seconds into it. If you're watching on the replay, feel free to fast forward through the first couple minutes. It just helps bring people in and helps me get set up. Let me get set up here on the iPad. Hello, everybody. Let me get to you in just a second here. Now that this is a monetized channel, I get all these prompts that come up, and I can't really do it on the cell phone without like bouncing the phone around. So I do it on the iPad that's right next to me, and then we can always test the sound. So can you guys hear me? Wow, 6 people. Hey, Jane. Hey, Kellyanne Sullivan. Donna McCoy. Oh, welcome in, Donna. I see you've been watching a lot of the replays. I appreciate it. It made a huge difference. And hello, Jay, my friend. Okay, you can see me and hear me. Let's just give it a few moments. It's only been like a minute and a half, and let people come in. Oh, great, great, Donna. Thanks. Yeah, I still haven't done the upgraded mics yet. Oh, thanks for the hearts. 8 people in here. Of course, one of them's probably like, my iPad. So, let me fix it. This iPad is weird. Unchained Melody, good evening to you. Kellyanne, oh my God, we're not even starting the show yet. Here's the hype horn for Kellyanne Sullivan. Oh my God. And I'm going to learn to heart it on the iPad so that I don't shake the camera every single time. Everybody in here, give Kellyanne Sullivan a like on her super chat. I really appreciate that. I won't see the money until May 21st, but oh my gosh, you have to realize I have 5 years, 5 years and 4 months worth of channel expenses thus far. So, wow. Frogman of Ohio. I haven't seen you here before. How you doing, Frogman? Okay, we've got 11 people. I guess I'll just get this started. I know a lot of people will come in later and go, hey, what are you talking about? I'm going to try not to go as long because it's just taking too much out of me to go for like 2 hours at a time. And I know I say that every time, and then it gets crazier as it goes on because more and more people come in. But I'm April Davis, PI, and I am a licensed private investigator in Los Angeles, California. And we are here tonight, meaning you and I, my audience, to give the update on Nancy Guthrie. Yeah. What did I put in my title? Let me look at my title. Oh, it's day 68. Just wanted to be sure. Like day 68. There's more information that is coming out about these ransom notes. There's 3 different sets of ransoms in this case. Hey, 16 people watching. Can you guys smash that like button if you're not subscribed to me? Please do so. Let's see the thumbs up. It'll boost the algorithm. The red hearts boost the algorithm. The thumbs up boost the algorithm. The subscribes boost the algorithm, and even the comments, I believe. Let's get that number up. This is important. We want to keep this case relevant. Oh, thank you, Frogman. I hope you hit that bell icon so you'll get notified anytime I go live. And if you're interested in any of my videos, including the Nancy Guthrie True Crime series, just go to my live tab later on. And there's probably 50, 60 videos on this. We need to talk about, there was an interview today that I saw between Ashley Banfield and Harvey Levin. Tony, what updates do I have on Nancy or Savannah? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's see. Okay, Ashley had an interview today, I believe, with Harvey. That happens a lot. Harvey Levin of TMZ, and they kind of just did a synopsis. Now we've talked about some of this before, but there is additional information that has come out today. And let me just I'll just recap it. These are my own words, not their words, but I just wanted to go. I've got several things to talk about because there's three sets of ransoms, three separate writers. So the FBI claims that the first two ransom notes are real, and we did get that confirmation early on in this case from Savannah. She said, I think in the interview with Hoda Kotb, that she had seen the original two ransoms or that she had not seen them, but that the FBI thought that the first two were real. Now, the new information that's come out today, and this is their words, not mine, but this is all over the news today. This is the breaking news in this case, is that in those first two ransoms that the FBI believes to be real, they threatened to kill her. Now, who is they? We don't know, but they threatened to kill her. Those ransoms, I think the original wasn't it? I know it ended up being 6 million Bitcoin, but if we go back to the very beginning of my video series, I think it started out as like 4 million, then it was raised to 6 million. And those notes were sent to TMZ, KOVA, and KGUN. Those are local news stations in Tucson, Arizona. Drinking the vitamin water zero today. I need to hydrate. It's just my health, people, so I'm sorry if I have to like pause to hydrate. Now, TMZ was the very first news outlet to report the very first ransom note's existence. They reported that on February 3rd. The other local news outlets in Tucson said shortly thereafter that they had received the notes as well. Both notes came with two deadlines. One deadline was, well, the first note, the deadline was 5 p.m., February the 5th, and the next deadline was February the 9th. Okay. And they basically said, if we don't get our Bitcoin, we're not going to communicate with you anymore. And that was it. I mean, they have never heard from that email sender again. And they provided an account, a Bitcoin account. Their wallet is still empty, apparently. There was a rumor that someone put some test money into it. I don't know if that's true. Now, Savannah had previously told her mother's captors that the family was willing to pay the ransom in a video that she posted to social media, or her people posted for her, on February the 7th. But remember, they had to have proof of life. They never got proof of life, and I think law enforcement urged that family not to pay it, and they also urged her not to offer a large sum of money as a reward in the initial phase of the case. I disagree with that. The money should have been on the table immediately, but it wasn't. Hello, Jamie James. Now, and I've seen Savannah in these interviews saying that they would pay and that the FBI thought that the first two notes were real, but they hadn't seen them, meaning she and her family had not seen them. Federal prosecutors then, this is where the next ransom demander comes in. Federal prosecutors then charged 42-year-old Derek Kalela, also known as Derek Kayea, of Hawthorne, California, after he admitted to the FBI that he sent two text messages from a VoIP account. VoIP stands for Voice over Internet, made a brief phone call also to a member of the Guthrie family, I believe it was Annie or Tommaso, to see whether they would respond according to a criminal complaint. Now, I don't have a copy of that, but I do know that he had the personal phone numbers of both Annie and Tommaso. And remember, this is the fellow who has the band Secret Mutilator, and he has the same exact promoter that Tommaso's band Early Dark has. Now, I'm not saying that Tommaso, Tommy, Tomato, Tomato, whatever you want to call him, I'm not saying that he knows this Derek Kalela, but it's highly likely because they have the same band promoter And they've also performed in some of the same local clubs in Tucson, Arizona. Even though this guy is in Southern California, he's in LA County, he has performed in Tucson, as has Tomato's band, Early Dark. They have the same promoter. How did this fellow, this Derek, manage to have the personal cell phone numbers of Annie and Tommaso? Now, I could probably get them because I am a PI and I have access to databases that the average civilian does not have. Okay. But he had their phone numbers. He actually called one of them to discuss it. And in the text, it was like, hey, what about my Bitcoin? Not like, hey, this is so and so, or I'm threatening you, or this is what's going to happen. Here are the consequences. No, it was just like, hey, how about the Bitcoin? Like it was a conversation between two parties that were conducting a transaction. That's a big red flag to me. Now, this guy, he's already posted bail, right? He is going to have to go to federal trial. He will do federal prison time, guaranteed. I think the only way he could get out of it is if he knows more about this and he just rolls on everybody. But maybe he doesn't know more about it. Now, there's these other ransom notes, more than a half a dozen, according to Harvey. And remember, he talked about the first two, and then he said, I'm not going to talk about it again. And then another one came in, and he goes, well, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it again. And then this week, the week that Savannah Guthrie returns to the Today Show, it happens again. Okay. Now he is slowly starting to release more information about the original two notes. And now this is a third person. This is someone with a different email and a different Bitcoin account than the person or group that was demanding the 6 million. Now, what's interesting is that first note was sent on the Tuesday right after the abduction. Right after the abduction. Remember, that was the same day that Harvey said, oh, I got this demand for the millions in Bitcoin. But he also had these other two notes the very first week. And the first note asked for 1 Bitcoin and that he stated time was of the essence. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. The second note was sent on Wednesday after the abduction and said time is no longer of the essence. And that kind of raised red flags with Harvey because even though I don't think the FBI is taking these sets of notes seriously, he thought, well, why would the sender reveal their hand if they were trying to, scam for money? If it's all a scam, like, why would you admit in the second note the very next day that time is no longer of the essence? Basically saying, in an indirect way, that this person, the abductee, Nancy, is no longer with us. Now, more recent notes come this week, the day that Savannah. That's a good question, Jamie. Is it a hoax? But what if it's not? This person has said that Nancy is no longer with us, deceased, and that she is located in Sonora, Mexico. Okay, doesn't mean that it's true, but these letters appear to be true. I don't think Harvey's just like making this up for clickbait. I do think that he has these half a dozen or more letters and that he's turned them all over to the FBI. And he has brought up a good point like, hey, there's $1 million plus on the table. Why don't you just call the tip line? Call the sheriff, call the FBI, call 1-800, call FBI, call 888-CRIME, contact 888-CRIME. Why are you dicking around with, 1 Bitcoin? And then he now says, well, if you give me a half a Bitcoin now, then I'll tell you who did it. And he doesn't say kidnapper or kidnappers. What I thought before it was plural, he said they. So he's referring to the kidnappers as they. And that's why they believe that, well, the media believes that there's more than one person involved. Now, I've always thought that. Unchained Melody, I think the same thing, that she's closer to home. Now, DMZ said the note came from the same person who sent the previous notes that offered to identify Nancy Guthrie's alleged abductors in exchange for 1 Bitcoin, approximately, at that time, $68,500 as of April 7th, far less than the roughly 1.2 million reward collectively offered by the Guthrie family, the FBI, and 88-crime. Okay? Yeah. First he wanted one. I'm just assuming it's a he. Now he will take a half in advance. Now, this is where it just, let me keep going here before we get to the comments. The note's author, who we don't know who this is, and the email has never been traced, claims that Nancy Guthrie is in the Mexican state of Sonora. Now, that's about 70 miles south of Tucson. And Sonora, Mexico is big. Look at a map. Sonora, Mexico is big. Nogales is the crossing point just south of Tucson. Now, I'm just going to say that this whole thing with these ransom raises a red flag, because in one of the notes that came this week, this person, this writer who sent to this untraceable email, says that they, he, she, we don't know if it's a man or a woman, has been out of the United States for over 5 years and had nothing to do with Nancy Guthrie's suspected abduction. Their words, suspected abduction. That's kind of weird to say that. I mean, she was definitely taken out of her house. She's not there. She's gone. And the reason it kind of keeps bothering me, because, I'm thinking like an investigator that I am, without actually working this case and not seeing all the evidence that the police has. There is a character or actor, because remember, this is a big story, like a movie, a teleplay, a soap opera. And I have my list in my head. Remember, everybody here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But there is an actor, in my case, and the storyline that's going through my head, that has previously stated, since this crime occurred on social media, that he had not lived in the USA since 2019. Now, and I know who that person is. I'm not saying this person's connected to the case. But that person who previously stated on social media that he, meaning a man, has not lived in the USA since 2019, match that up with what this latest note to TMZ says: I have been out of the United States for over 5 years. Over 5 years could be since 2019. They're giving a timeline. If it's the same person, that person made a big mistake right there. Okay? Because the person on social media is saying that he hadn't lived in the United States since 2019. But that person, and I know who this person is, has definitely been in the United States. They may not have officially lived here, but they've had an apartment here. They've worked at a business here. Isn't one and the same people. These are just random possibilities. As Bananos would say, it's speculative. I don't have copies of the notes. We are simply going with what the media is telling us. Jamie James, are these emails or actual paper letters or phone calls? I know the ones that have come to TMZ have all been in the form of emails. I do not know what form they came into the two local Tucson news stations, which are KVOA and KGUN. Don't know. But I've said all along that that's not how kidnappings normally work. Ransoms are left at the scene of the crime, or they are forwarded to the family. So now they've got an FBI spokesperson involved, because unlike, Bananos, who, was a big media star, by the Tuesday after this happened, the FBI spokesperson, and not even like in a video, has said just in emails, We are not discussing this case while it's under active investigation. Hello? Yeah, that's what should have been said by Pima County Sheriff. We are not discussing this case while it's under active investigation. Even if he's standing at a news podium and there's 100 cameras from all over the world, in a media conference, in a news conference, that's what the sheriff's department should have said. And they should have had a spokesperson saying that so that Bananas would show that he was out on the case, hot on the trail. But no, he was too busy being a media star. But the FBI, no, they just sent an email and said, we aren't discussing this case. The agency, meaning the FBI, hasn't shared whether it has authenticated any of the previous ransom notes or whether they contain proof of life at the time they were sent. Now, that's a very good point. Did they prove proof of life? I don't think so, because as far as I know, they were emails. It's not like they had her on the phone or on a video conference or on a Zoom. Now, former FBI agents have previously said that sharing ransom notes through the media as opposed to the family directly was highly unusual. I've said this from the very beginning. Kidnappers also don't stay in a house for 41 minutes. If you're a targeted abductee, you get in, you do the job, you get the person out of there, you make sure that you have all the proper supplies to keep them alive, and you communicate directly with the family, you get that payment, and you release her somewhere. Even if you just, push her out of the car in front of the police station or leave her out in the middle of the desert. You just drive up and there you go. Done. It's done. None of this has happened. I've got my mojo. Welcome in, says Smart. Fortune, we were talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. Hey, Kathy Mowry, welcome back. I like this question. Jamie James says, hoax? But what if it's not? Exactly. Randy Quaid, stunt double. Hey, Randy Quaid, stunt double. I haven't seen you before. Where are you coming in from, sir? That's a thinker. Yeah. And I still won't reveal. Oh my gosh, Kathy, another paid member. Who got the gift? Let me see. Let me scroll through. Uh, let's see who got it. Oh, I'm really behind in the chat. I saw it on my iPad. That's how I knew it came. Jamie James, congratulations. Everybody in the chat, thank Kathy. She's been a big supporter of the channel from day one. Let's give Kathy a big shout out here. Oh, thanks, Jay, for answering Fortune. I didn't see that response. Yeah, my iPad is way ahead of the phone. I have to keep pushing the arrow on the bottom of the chat on the phone to keep up with it. Maybe he was looking for something that was not there and nabbed Nancy. Well, I don't think that was just done at random. This was very, very planned in advance. Very planned in advance. Several weeks in advance, at least 2 or 3 weeks in advance, probably longer. I don't think it was a burglary or robbery gone wrong, and then, she woke up. Remember, she couldn't hear anything without her hearing aids. She couldn't hear a thing. They could have been ringing the doorbell and pounding on the door and, sounding the hype horn. She wouldn't have been able to hear it. She took out the hearing aids to charge them. She can't hear anything while she's sleeping. So they went into her bedroom and they took her. That's what it looks like. And the family's claiming that she didn't even have her shoes. It's disgusting. But I have thought, and that's just my personal opinion, that she's been gone since very early on in the case. I don't think she was unalived in the house or deceased by the time she left, because that pacemaker, it can sync with the devices in the house for about 30 feet. Then once it gets 30 feet outward, it's like me when I walk down my driveway to take out my recycles or my trash bag. I have my phone in my pocket. I got my cane, my phone, and my trash. And I get about halfway down the driveway and the Bluetooth disconnects. And then there's like a little break in my signal. And then it just has to go on to, like the cell data. And then as I turn back, it it reconnects. So I don't get very far down that driveway and out of my house before my devices disconnect. So while she was being taken, presumably from the front of the property, and we don't know how she left the property, within about 30 feet, the pacemaker unsynced. It didn't stop working. Her heart at that point was still beating, but once they lost the connection, we don't know what happened. So I know that it's not like she was intentionally unalived or accidentally unalived in the house. This was a planned taking, but we don't know why. But not a kidnapper on the face of this earth stays in a house for 41 minutes. And at her age and her health and her reported immobility, she would not have been able to fight back, for 41 minutes, struggling for them to get her out. A lot can happen in 40 minutes, and things that I don't even want my mind to go to. Because remember, at the beginning of this case, the law enforcement officials were originally looking for registered S offenders in the area. And people are like, oh, no, nobody would do that to an 84-year-old woman. Well, yes, they would. But if they just were there for that purpose, I think they would have just done the terrible deed and then they would have left. Or they would have unalived her and then left. Or unalived her, done the terrible deed and left. This was highly planned. They brought, was it tools, wraps, blankets, tarps? That backpack of just the one person was stuffed. There are very sick people, Jamie. But remember, they had a bag full of stuff. So, I mean, that still could have happened too. God forbid. God forbid. This poor woman, nobody deserves to have their life taken like this. I mean, just imagine the stress on the family. Now, remember, even though I have that suspect video, can you guys please watch that on my long form content video? It's the top of the list. I did about a 24-minute video on the list of suspects, and they're in no particular order other than the order that their names came out in this case as being potential suspects. And I go down a very long list. I don't include everybody because I don't want to make a long form content video too long. You are here because I am great. Well, I think you're pretty great too, Kathy. And I'm going to learn to tap the heart on the iPad. Everybody give Kathy a like on that. I don't think she is still alive. My biggest concern here, my biggest concern now, the first biggest concern was, is she still with us? That's already come and gone in my mind. The biggest concern now is that we need closure. We need people to be arrested on this and tried, not just automatically convicted just because somebody gets arrested. Like, let's let the justice system play this out. But we need to find Nancy. And no matter what condition she is, yeah, I've done a lot of cases in my PI career, Jamie, regarding elder abuse, and you don't even want to know some of the things that I hear. And the majority of these things, besides the horrible things that happen in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, is what happens to a person in their own home by their own family and their own caregivers. And it includes everything from physical abuse, emotional abuse, abuse, the R word, lack of medication, overdoses, missing doses, taking over their finances, taking over their bank accounts, making them sign new wills or new trusts when they're on their deathbeds and they're under the influence of morphine because they're in hospice. I've seen and heard it all. Uh, but we do need closure, Jay says, yes, closure for family and us followers as well. Yeah, this case is keeping me up at night. I'm too emotionally vested in this. Uh, and I'm vested in Savannah and her family. And I've never met Savannah. And God forbid, let's say that Annie and Tommaso, let's say that they have zero to do with this. Can you imagine what they're going through? It's like the Ramseys being pointed out as John Benet's unaliver. But I don't believe that the Ramseys had anything to do with it, And now that mother has long since passed from her recurrence of cancer. And we still don't know. I mean, I think I know. I just think that they were very poor detectives involved, like there is in the Nancy Guthrie case. A lot of the seasoned veteran detectives had already left the Pima County Sheriffs. They didn't have a good group on this because I don't think these guys are as smart as people think they are. Like, well, if they're not so smart, how come they got away with it? Same thing with John Bonet. Well, it's been 30 years and they still got away with it. Yeah, bad police work. That's why. I could have had that thing solved in under a week. The police should have had it solved in 6 weeks tops, that case. This case is day number 68. Can anybody do the math on that? What week is this now? I've lost track because I was keeping track of the days and the weeks. It's day 68. This coming Sunday will be another week gone by. This is crazy. Hey, Rowdy. Where are you coming in from, Rowdy? Jamie James says, we all need closure. I had a hard time sleeping at night when this happened. Yeah, I've had insomnia for years, but with my health, it's out of control. Like last night, I actually got to sleep pretty early, which is unusual for me. But then a few hours later, I woke up. And then I was up most of the night. And then just when I got to bed, it was like, oh, got to get up and pee, And then, a few hours later, that morning pill alarm is going off on my phone, and I have to sit up and get my thoughts together to make sure that I don't make a medication mistake. And I'm not 84 years old. I'm young enough to be Nancy's daughter. And then it's like, well, since I'm up, I might as well go, check on the animals, check on their food, pee one more time, and then we're going to lay back down. And at some point, I was like, I can't lay back down anymore because I've got things I have to handle. There's pressing matters today. Once again, I wasn't even planning on going on, but then I started, as I was working at my desk today, taking care of just some paperwork and things and notes that are trying to get between one doctor's office to the next, which is a lot harder than it should be. I still don't have confirmation that the cardiologist has received anything from the dentist's office yet. So I can't make my follow-up appointments until I have that note filled out and signed. But, I just have to take care of stuff every day. And then in the background, I'm listening, either on my phone or on my computer or my iPad. I'm listening to some of this true crime, people that are commenting on Nancy Guthrie. I check the AP every few hours, like, has anything happened? What's going on? And then I started hearing that this new information came out today where, you remember, Harvey said very little when those first notes came in because he didn't want to compromise the case. But now it has come out that those first two notes, the ones that had the deadlines, that they threatened to unalive Nancy. I mean, they meant business. Now, for what purpose? Was it revenge? Was it money? Was it somebody targeting Savannah? Was it somebody targeting Nancy because they knew she was the mother of Savannah Guthrie? Was somebody targeting her for a different person? Or, a different reason, such as family, close friends, neighbors, workers in and around the home, churchgoers, congregation members, caregivers, could be Uber drivers, there's so many possibilities. but 90% of people that are unalived or abducted or kidnapped, it happens from somebody very, very close to them. And the top of the list is a family member. Not always, and I'm not accusing anybody. I toss and turn at night. I take all meds at night, even though I shouldn't. I don't care, wouldn't remember. It is what it is. Getting old is not fun, let me tell you. I wish I could go back in time to when I was, 30, 40. That seems like a very long time ago. And this Sunday, if I have my life for my birthday, it'll be another year. And instead of going, "Oh God, I'm another year older," I never look at it that way. Ever since I was a kid, I even long before all these health problems, I always looked at a birthday like, "Oh wow, another year that I survived." Because I guess my whole life I've been in survival mode. That it's kind of sad, but I kind of been in survival mode my whole life. And so I've always like pat myself on the back, like, "Yep, made it another year." Same thing with New Year's Eve when, the bell drops or that ball drops at midnight in Manhattan. It's like, "Oh, made it another year." I never think like, "Oh, another year has passed. What can happen now?" Like, no. I have been here pretty much daily. I hadn't planned on any of this. I didn't plan that I would hit the 2K mark. I didn't plan that I would get remonetized. I'm not doing this for the money. Now, uh, somebody yesterday, I think it was Jay, you mentioned something, and it was a good question to ask. And I am very transparent here. You said something about, should I be worried about, you know, some of the income that could come in from this affecting my ability to collect my disability? And no, because YouTube is hard. I will never get rich off of YouTube, and I already have almost 5.5 years worth of channel expenses that are hanging in the wind. And just since I started this, we have lost an iPad. Well, that was right before I started this. I had replaced the iPad. Um, Pretty sure it was before I started. I have to look up in my records. Then I lost the receiver and the adapters to the microphones. They got damaged. Then 2 nights ago, the iPhone 13 replacement phone, it passed away. It's in the Apple graveyard in the sky now. It's toast. And when you buy a new phone, you've got to have cases and chargers and you know the the car chargers. Which, by the way, I'm still waiting for Amazon to deliver my car charger. I can't charge this phone when I leave my house. But let me tell you, this battery on this iPhone is very good. It's supposed to be like the top of the line. And in my entire life, I've never had the latest, greatest, top of the line iPhone. I'm always like several generations behind. But and I'm also the poorest that I've ever been in my life. So to answer Jay's question or anybody's question, like no, like I hardly ever leave my house except to go to the pharmacy and the doctor. That's why it was so. It was actually kind of like I was a little worried about being able to get from the car to the Apple store because it was, I had my cane, but still, like, who's going to pick me up if I, collapse in the mall? Luckily, the Apple store had chairs. Like, I'm not worried about it at all. I've had a loss in my business since every year since I was diagnosed with cancer. I'd never had a loss, even when I was young and I was just starting out. I never ever had a loss. I was always in the black. Ever since cancer, I've been in the red. But I have keep the business going on paper because you never know what's going to happen with the government, especially with our current administration. And don't trust anybody, people. And I've got a very good CPA, very honest CPA, and I'm upfront with everything. They could audit me any day, any moment, and I wouldn't even be worried because everything has been reported, everything is proved. I have receipts. I still have my business storage that I pay. It's gone up. It was 90 something for years. Now it's $114 a month just to store boxes and boxes of records. Yeah. Plus all the shredding fees that I've had to pay over the years. Not worried at all. I would have to become like, you know, uh, Curmudgeon, Alaska, or somebody like that to have to worry about um, what wee little bit of money I'm going to get from this channel. Jay says, I look forward to this channel every day. It is my only outside interaction except my husband. Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Hey, Jana. Didn't see you come in. Where are you coming in from? I haven't seen you before. So, yeah, that's the latest on Nancy. Now, I kind of hesitate to talk about, there's another subject. I was thinking of saving it for another video, but I'm not the expert on this subject. I know you guys, you probably, if you've been watching my videos, oh, you're new and you're in Arizona. Oh, are you a new subscriber in from Arizona, or is there a town called New Arizona? Let me know. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Does anybody know, is New Arizona a town? Or are you just saying that you are new here and you're from Arizona? New subscriber. Fantastic. I hope you click that bell icon and go to my channel, go to my playlist, go to my homepage. Everybody, if you haven't gone to the homepage, click the video tab, see my most recent video, the list of suspects, and feel free to replay or just turn on a playlist of your favorite subject and just put it on loop. I've done okay, or I will do okay when I get my first check, May 21st, with some of the donations here. It's helped a lot because the amount of royalties I'm going to get from views is going to be like this big. Oh, and I don't think she's here. Let me just add something here. Uh, I don't think, is Trisha here? Has anybody seen Trisha? She's one of my primary mods. She knows more about this stuff than I do. And I don't even know if I know she has a channel. I'm not sure if she has a monetized channel, but I don't think so. Yes. We're going to talk about some Duggar information. Now, remember, I watched that show all the way from the beginning, like when they were building that first house. I don't think I saw the documentary when it was like, I could have, but I don't think so, when they did 14 Kids and Pregnant. But after that, and they had the shows that came on the TMZ, or not TMZ, TLC. I've seen them all. Now, I didn't see as many of the episodes with the spinoffs that they had with the girls when the first allegations came out about Josh and the sisters, and then they were like, they took off, TLC took off the main show, 19 Kids and Counting, and then because all that stuff had come out about Josh and his sisters, but he was never officially charged with any of that. But then he got busted for something else and is sitting in a federal pen in Texas right now. Then they were like, okay, we're just scrapping all of this. And then all these girls started writing books and YouTube channels and Instagram accounts. And, I follow that. But I'm not an expert like this very huge YouTuber, and I've mentioned her before. I don't get a chance to watch hardly any other YouTubers anymore because I'm too busy with my own channel. But there is a woman, I believe she's in Minnesota, without a crystal ball, Katie Joy. She is an expert. And, I believe about 99.9% of the stuff that she reports. People are like, oh, you should be a PI. Well, no, Katie, I wouldn't recommend that, but you could be a professional researcher, or you could start an information database firm, or she's a really good researcher. And she released a statement today, and she never uses the word, like, at least not in this. She didn't say alleged or maybe or innocent until proven guilty. I always say that. But there was an Instagram post that says it came out. Well, I just printed this before the show 18 hours ago. So was that last night or was that this morning? I printed this. Let's see, 2:46 it says here. Oh, it must have been late last night then. She is sketchy at times. She could be, I'm not sold on her 100%. She does have a lot of sources, but she's not like an Ashley Banfield or a Nancy Grace or, I hate to say it, but even a Megyn Kelly. I don't like her politics, but sometimes she's rather humorous. Don't watch her regularly. She is a YouTuber, as is JLR Investigates. And, look what's happened with that situation. But she printed or made a statement on Instagram. This was saved on my phone at 2:46. So maybe this came out last night. Let's just say last night to be safe. Could have been last night, could have been this morning. But it says happening now. It's just like when Nancy Grace says, breaking news, but the breaking news, we're at day number and we're right, and it was recorded a week ago. She says happening now. There are at least 3 other Duggar sons, and I'm going to put in allegedly because she didn't say that, who have also been accused of SA via, she says, my sources, not my sources, without a crystal ball sources. My sources, Katie's, confirm that the Duggars sent their sons to Alert Academy when they were caught with, I can't say the word because I'm monetized now, starts with a P and ends with a Y, or assaulting someone. Only 2 sons did not go to Alert, but they aren't in the clear. In fact, I'm hearing this could include all of the sons, but 3 sons I heard about today, and this is without a crystal ball, this is not April Davis PI. She is saying, I heard about today Jeremiah, Josiah, and Jason. Now, I know we're here to talk about Nancy, and that's what we're going to talk about. But it's right here, people. And no, I'm not on OBS, so this is the best I can do for you. Okay, let me catch up on the messages. You could be right, Kathy. Jay says it was this morning your time. I will do so. I can't read AZX. No problem. Oregon Pride Walk. Welcome back. Well, we've got some breaking news. Sorry I can't stay on because we're trying to gather all the information. You have heard they are closing in on a suspect. You mean in Nancy Guthrie? Yeah, there's some sources telling us they're closing in the suspect. They know who the suspect is. They just got to make sure they got everything together. Maybe. We will see. Do you know that somebody that I know contacted the FBI? And do you know they've received over 8,000 tips? I don't know the exact number, but I know it's a lot. Remove that comment. Which comment? Let me know. What did I miss? There was supposedly a raid at the big house. Okay, now we're talking about 2 different things here. I know Oregon Pride, you are telling us like yesterday we were talking about a car accident, but right now we are talking about Nancy Guthrie. Now, is this a suspect in the Nancy Guthrie case? If so, I'd like to hear more about that because that's why we're here. But I just wanted to let my viewers know that this came out on the Duggar boys. And I am not a Duggar expert, and I don't want to be because the whole family just kind of makes me ill. Okay, Oregon Pride. This is important. Thank you for reporting this. I think Brian from News Nation is telling people behind the scenes they're closing in. They know who the suspect is. Who is he telling behind the scenes, and how do you know this? Jay says hopefully. Yeah, I hope you're right, Oregon News. I hope so. Yeah, I can't stay because we're working on the story. There's some breaking news on the Nancy Guthrie case. Okay, let us know, Oregon. Thanks for coming in and checking in with us. I appreciate you. I'd like to know. I hope so. Because I will never give up on this. And we can always talk about, other true crime stories in the future. But I will, even if they have somebody, they still have to be charged. And they have to go to a trial unless they plead guilty. They'll have to go to a trial and, all the particulars, the who, what, when, where, why, how will all have to be worked out. There will be a lot more to report once they have the first person arrested. So just as soon as we know anything, I will let you know. They got to make sure everything is together before they release the information. Exactly. Well, let's hope that that's true, Oregon. I hope that that's true. And who is Brian It and telling? Yeah, there has to be a sentencing and everything. That's a very long process. And some of these trials go on for years. Look at the Menendez brothers. And those guys were guilty, and it was still a hung jury because of all the extenuating circumstances. And then they sat in county jail for another 2 or 3 years before they could get a second trial. And they never said they didn't do it. But the second trial, they weren't allowed to bring in any of the evidence that was in the first trial. And it was just LA County, was like, hey, we're very upset because OJ got away with it and we need to prosecute somebody. And these guys were not saying they didn't do it. They were just saying they did it because of this, this, and that. And that never got brought into the second trial. But it took like another 2 or 3 years. And then it was just very quick, wrapped up with a neat little bow. And there they went. And, more than 20 years passed before they even got to see each other again. Um, it was how they killed or unalived their parents. Yeah, absolutely, Jay. And I do, for reasons I can't go into, I do believe the former member of Menudo who has come forward against Jose Menendez. But that's another story for another day. But I think I have a couple of videos on some of that. If you guys are interested, just go to the true crime uh, tab or just go to the video tab and see what strikes your fancy. Um, we will never stop talking about this. Justice needs to be served. Oh, I just heard my ding ding. That means I just got another subscriber. Let's see what the count is right now because I kind of like to update you guys daily and sometimes I forget. Oh my god, I just hit 2400. Was there anybody here who just was number 2400? Because I know we had a sub that came in and there's a little bit of a delay because I think I was at 2393 before I went on the air. Somebody just who's number 2400? Wow, if we could get that far, maybe we could get to 2500. And if I could hit 2500, maybe we could jump to 3000 and then maybe once I hit that point, then maybe I'll actually I need to have more views on the actual videos. I still don't know. I have to wait for the first 28 days since monetization to go by to see where my RPMs are going to fall, but they're much lower for the replays on the lives than they are for the actual long form content videos. Those pay much more. But we'll see. We'll see how it lands because most of my audience is coming into the live. So I got to keep going. And other than the suspect video, I haven't even had time to make a long form content since monetization. I just did one. And I thought it was, I gave up on the editing towards the end and I did make one typo in it, but people are saying that it's good. Everybody that's seen it likes it, but it's got like, 300 plus views. Like, 1,000 views would be worth like, you know, $5 to $7. It's got like 300. Like it's pennies. Uh, and that takes a lot of time to do a long form content and then edit it and, get it out. And I did a premiere, like what, 3 people came to the premiere. It's like, screw it, don't even need the premiere anymore. Let's just put it out there. Yeah, these lives are sustaining the channel for the moment. We'll see where it all lands on May 21st. Let's just give it time. I know I won't be able to do this at this pace every single day. There's just no way. There's just, there's a lot going on in my life. So I won't be able to continue at this daily, once or twice a day pace. But, you know, uh, I am enjoying it. There are days that it feels like a full-time job, but you know, I have medical issues that come up. I've had a lot of hospitalization staff or they all left and his sister's in friggin' Thailand and he's trying to, he's everything. He's the accountant, he's the janitor, he's the dentist, he's the receptionist. come on. It's just like, I call him today, like, hey, I need to get a fax number to you. Do you have a fax machine that you can get this over to the doctor? And that was, 4 hours ago and I haven't heard back. So, how does a dentist office run without a staff, even if it's just one person sitting at the counter to handle the charges and the phone calls and the schedule? I mean, my God. Um, there's always something going on medical. I still have to pick up a couple things at the pharmacy that I have a coupon for. It's just stupid, stupid crap like that. Oh, I I started to say this, and then I think that's when Oregon Newsbeat came in. I got off track. I don't think Trisha is here, my primary mod. That is, ugh, she's helped me so much. But she said something last night in the chat that a couple of other people have said before. It's something I didn't think of because I'm still learning. And she was like, "Where's your Amazon wish list?" And I never thought of that. I don't have a store connected to my channel. Yeah, I don't think she's here right now, Kathy, but I did make a small one last night. It is linked in the channel description. I also put the link in the community post tab. It used to be called community, now it's called post, but all the YouTubers still call it community. So if you click the post tab, you'll see the link. If you go to the home page and you go, underneath the bio where it says channel description or just description, and you see all the links, it's the one all the way at the bottom. Uh, and I had a hard time because people say that you should put the gift cards in. And they have physical gift cards and digital gift cards that come by email. But when you have what's called a wish list rather than an actual registry, like for a wedding or a baby shower or a birthday, or there's a gift list for an event. There's a registry list for an event like a wedding or a baby shower or a childbirth. But then there's also what's just called the wish list. And when you put the wish list up, I wanted to start the the gift cards at the lowest amount, $5, and then let somebody choose, but it doesn't work like that. The minimum on a wish list is 10, and then I'm like, well, let me put several of them out that'll say like 10 or 15 or 20 or 25. It doesn't work like that because they all kept coming out even when I'd write $5 in the description on the Amazon page and then say add to wish list, it would revert back to the $10. And I will like, well, are these people, do they have Prime? Are they going to have to pay for the shipping? Um, how is that going to work? So I try to do it where it's an e-card and somebody just pushes a button in case that's what they want to send and they want to just send like $5, which is the minimum, but it doesn't work that way. The wish list, the minimum is 10 as far as I know, and it can't come by email or digitally to my phone or to my account. It has to be a physical card because I have it set up as a wish list, like my YouTube wish list for 2026. I'm not listed as a registry. And if you list as a gift registry link, you can only pick certain products, none of which, like home decor and um, it's just like it was a little complicated. So if anybody else has got one of these or wish lists from Amazon, and you can explain to me how we can get a card up there where you guys can choose the amount and you guys can choose how you want to send it, let me know. Because the only one that's up there is a $10 card. Let's see. Hey, my friend, Jason E. Miner of Golden Skull Prospecting. How are you doing, sir? Everybody give my friend Jason a shout out. Say hello. Yeah, the channel's it's been like, you wouldn't believe the activity, Jason. I'm starting to have just a wee bit of success here. I'm so glad to see you come in. Um, I believe you have a monetized channel, Jason. Do you know how to do the Amazon wish list? do you know how to list the gift cards so that someone can choose the lesser amount, like the lowest amount, and that it's sent by um, email or to your Amazon account so that if they don't have Prime, which is free shipping, that they don't have to pay additional money to have it shipped. Um, I can't I can't figure, and I've done all, even today, I put it into Google, and Google's like, no, with the regular wish list, you can't do the e-cards. Now, if you have a specific registry for a specific event, then yes, they can choose the amount of their card. But on a wish list, no, it has to be a physical card. And you can only list one amount, even if you choose other cards, other colors, other designs. You can't set it up where here's a $5 card, here's a $10 card, here's a $15 card, here's a 20, here's a 25, here's a 50. You can't set it up that way. So if anybody knows, oh, well, I thought I'd ask you, Jason, because this guy, he's a professional YouTuber. How long have you been monetized, Jason? Because I'm still April used birthday event. I thought about that, but my birthday's Sunday. And then it would just be over. Like, how many people are even going to know about this in the next 3 days? Well, one of my mods and a couple of viewers in past uh, chats asked about that. Like, do you have an Amazon wish list? And I was like, no. And then Trisha brought it up last night. Oh, you opted out of being monetized. Oh my God, why would you do that? I mean, I'm sure you have your reasons. You can keep them private to yourself. Um, I just need to make enough money to pay myself back because I've been doing this for almost 5.5 years, and you know, it's cost me thousands of dollars. Um, so anyway, in the main channel or on the main channel page in the description where I have all the links, it's there, and I have like a cat toy, um, something for the bunny. A couple of things of soda, some hand soaps, some laundry soap, just stupid stuff. And then it tells you that you have to put something that's your number one desired item. Well, I've had a number one desired item for the past 5 years, and I don't have it yet. So I put that at the top. I don't expect anybody to buy it, but it's a microphone that I need for my desk because I'm still running off the $15 Amazon mic. Um, okay, Jason says my life is just too unpredictable for the last 2 years. One day I might get back to it. I hope so. But thank you for coming in to see me. We were chatting about Nancy Guthrie, and then we talked a little bit about the Duggar boys. And let's see, at April Davis PI, people in the chat, can you as anything else? Can you what? What did I miss? Did I miss something? So it's there. But then I found out here's something interesting too. I have a business address and I have a home address. And for the few people on here that actually personally know me, they can send to the home address, and then I don't have to pay the pickup fees at the business box. And I only get there every 7 to 10 days. Like, somebody here was kind enough to send me a birthday card, but I was getting tons of messages like, have you picked it up? Have you picked it up? Have you picked it up? Like, I only get there every 7 to 10 days. Sometimes it's longer if I'm hospitalized or I got to have somebody go pick it up for me. Um, so basically, I found out today that if somebody buys something from the Amazon wish list and it's not sent directly by Amazon, but it is sent through a third party, that those items, that the home address, my physical location, would be made public. And, I'm a PI and I've worked on a lot of big cases. And there's been a few people over the years that are like, I'm gonna come after her. I'm gonna get you. So just for my safety, I had to very quickly go in today and take the the shipping address down and change it to my actual mailing address where I'll just have to pay the fees to pick it up. Um, that's just the way it goes because they don't want, their little mailbox store, their commercial mail receiving agency, um, to become a storage facility. And I understand that because they have like 500 or 600 boxes, and it's a very, very tiny little back room where all the packages are. So, and it gets crazy there at Christmas time. So, it's a dollar, $2, $3, whatever it is. It's like I'd rather pay the dollar or $2 or $3 because I get the donations through the channel that can help pay those fees. But I don't expect anybody to send anything to that. But it is there. It will go to the business address. So I might not see it immediately. Just explaining, I'm being very transparent. That's how it works. But, I'd rather just keep getting donations through the channel because until I hit that minimum, which I know I've crossed that $100 minimum, that I will get a check in May, even though I got monetized at the end of March. I didn't qualify yet to receive an April check. So just handling a little housekeeping. Oh, hey, Jet Set, welcome back. Hey, Rita Close. She's one of my regular viewers. Oh, well, that's a big no-no to the public for you. Absolutely, because of what I do. Not because I'm worried about people here, but because of what I do for a living or what I did for a living for, 35 years full time. So I did catch that. That's why, and it cost me a fortune to have that box every year. It cost me a fortune. And it's been so inconvenient since, the cancer came and then the heart problems came. And I mean, there was a time I couldn't even walk from the door to the car for months and months and months at a time, and I had to make arrangements for someone to go pick up the mail and, or you can pay a forwarding fee, but that takes a long time. And then, if it doesn't fit in the box and they leave it at my door, somebody can take it because this is a big city and there's just package thieves all over the place. So at least if a package is sent, you know that it will be safe because it's in a secured store and nobody has access to their box during, like, if it's a holiday or it's a Sunday or they're closed for any reason, you're not getting your mail. My old place in Sherman Oaks, you could at least go into the lobby door and, the main door to the store, and you could get the mail. And then they had a big, like, rolling door like you'd see in a storage facility that would separate the mail from the store. But, then somebody could come and rob your mailbox. And there was, even that was Sherman Oaks. There was a homeless lady that decided she was going to move in there, and she would somehow, somebody would come in and they wouldn't shut the door all the way, and then she'd like get in and yeah, it was horrible. She was an old lady and she had nowhere to go, and she was like, this dirty starving woman was sleeping on the floor. Jason, here you go, my friend. Everybody, uh, let me go over. I got to get back onto YouTube on the iPad. Yeah, I'm going to hit all these on the screen on the iPad rather than the phone because it could tip over. If you watch the last couple videos, you'll see that I had a phone emergency, Jason, 2 nights ago, and that was another $1,300 or $1,400. So for the person here that had asked the question about, are you a little worried about the income from this that could affect your other income? No, not at all, because um, you know you get less than a penny for a short view, less than a penny. I think since I got monetized, there's like 10 cents worth of short views. Like it pays nothing. Uh, the long form content, which has taken, 5.5 years of my life, maybe 1,000 views. Where all the views are coming in are these lives. So as long as I'm still standing and I'm not laying in a hospital bed, although I did do a live once when I was coming out of anesthesia, you guys should see that. You could see how close I was to dead. And Rachel Strickland, a former Mrs. Missouri, came in and she she had everybody coming in. And I was just like, oh, it's really bad. I can't watch it because it's too upsetting to me to see. That's when I was in the critical cardiac unit. And she was just like, oh my Lord, April, what has happened to you? And um, so I did go live from a hospital once. I did do it, and I've never taken that video down, and it was never monetized. So I didn't make it. There was like 800 people came in or something. I I never made a penny from it. So I'm transparent about everything here. Um, Thank you so much, Jason. You didn't need to do that, sir. Uh, I haven't bought any gold, Jason. Jason is one of my friends from the gold community. There's a lot of people that I know in the gold community on YouTube and the silver community, the precious metals community. And if anybody's into that, you need pay dirt, you know, send Jason E. Miner of Golden Skull Prospecting a message and he'll take care of you. Yeah, I still got the little glass skull and the little glass doobie vial for of pay dirt. It's so funny. Those don't get stopped in the mail for being suspected of being something else. Oh, it's so funny. But good stuff. Good product. I wouldn't recommend them if it wasn't. Although I'm not so good at the micro gold, and I have to say that some of the pay dirt that I've got from you was is I'm more on the expert level than I am. So me too, Kathy. Diamond is my birthstone. But yeah, and then you sent all the stickers. You and Alaska Assassin have like out of everybody, I think you guys have the best merch. It's just I don't like, I like the logo that Alaskan Assassin made for me, but it's okay for me. Like other you guys like it, but these AI pictures don't really look like anybody. They all kind of look the same. I know, Donna. Pay dirt makes good Christmas presents. I got all my family some. They loved it. Makes pretty good birthday presents too. Just saying, everybody. Did you know my birthday's Sunday? Yeah, I'm kidding. It is actually. Um, a little bit, but Michigan has very fine gold and it's unsearched dirt with natural gold. Okay. So it's just teeny tiny little gold. And I have all the tools, to separate it, but it's still like, oh my God, this is so hard for me. I was starting on like beginner bags and then I moved up to intermediate level bags. Uh, yes, diamonds are the best. And I don't, I'm not married, so I don't have myself a nice diamond. And it's my birthstone. I don't have a nice diamond. We call it flea poop. We wish for fly poop size. LOL. Yeah. Are you doing this, Jason, just to torture me? And there's a lot of it, but it's just like I have to take a break from it. I can't do it all in one sitting. But yeah, if anybody here is from the gold community, the silver community, or the precious metals community, and you want to get hooked up with some good pay dirt, but it is at kind of an expert level. Um, you guys hook up with Jason E. Miner of Golden Skull Prospecting. Oh, Kathy says I used to make jewelry, precious metals, and gems. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm not a creative, even though I am now a YouTube content creator. I'm not that creative or artsy, so I can't make anything. Wow, how did this went from Nancy Guthrie to the Duggar boys to all this? I think because Jason came in and then Donna came in. I know she's a member of the community. You got to go through that dirt 10 times, April, and your skill level will definitely go up. Yeah, and once I do it all, I I weigh it and then I put that gold in with I have like a little vial that I've been collecting since I started the pay dirt, the mailbox mining, the couch mining, whatever you want to call it. And when I add that type of gold into it, I'm afraid that too much dirt or sand is contaminating my little vial that's got my entire stash in it. And it's not even half full. Kathy says, I am artsy all the way. Good for you. I had to take art in school a couple times, and it was the most stressful class that I ever had to take. It was just like I literally would get anxiety going into that class. And I was a good student, but not, I can't draw a stick figure. I can't make anything. I'm not crafty or hell, my Thai friend is gonna come over and she's gonna sew a button on one of my shirts for me. But see, like, I help them with financial things and banking and checkbooks and, um, government stuff and, you know, legal stuff, and I deal with the lawyers for them and, um, but I it's not that I can't sew a button, I just there's not enough time in my day to worry about something like that. They can do it for me. It's nice to have, friends that have other skills that you don't have. Now, if I can just, find a man that can cook, then things will be going really well. Because I hate to cook. I can do it, but it's a time suck. Um, so yeah, we've gone way off subject here, but that's what I had for today. That Nancy Guthrie, the notes have now more information has been released on the notes saying that they threatened to unalive her. Kathy Mowry, you won an award in the 10th grade. It was weaving at the university. Wow. Donna says, I argue with my art teacher all the time. I didn't feel like drawing till 3 a.m. You have to be in the mode. I get that. Mom made him and sew buttons from a young age. I had to learn to do that in an elective class in junior high, and I didn't elect that class, but they're like, well, you're coming in. It was a sixth, seventh, and eighth, and I didn't come in that school until the eighth. So they're like, oh, you can't choose your electives. And boys go to shop and girls go to home ec. And I was like, home ec? And it was the last class of the day, and it just was awful. And we had to bake cookies once, sew a button, and then make a purse. Like, just kill me now. Jason E. Miner. I can cook pretty good. No training, but my grandmas and mom were great cooks. Lucky you, a man who can cook. I know ATC, whenever he does his lives on Sunday, he's always talking about that he's got a roast cooking or something. I'm like, oh, that man can cook. He's in Canada. Like, I would love for to know somebody close to me, even if it's just a friend who can cook. I had home ec and shop. Yeah, I would have loved to. I had a boyfriend in that school towards the end of the year, and he was in the shop class that was right down the hall. And we didn't have any classes together. We could only see each other like in the morning and like during the lunch break, and that was it. And I'm like, I wish I would be in your shop class. All the boys had to be in shop, and all the girls had to be in home ec, and it just was god awful. And it was the end of the day, and there was no AC in the school, so everybody was hot and like hungry, ready to just go home. And uh, nightmare. Absolute nightmare. That was not my jam. PE? Great at that. I also said I couldn't be in the band because I wasn't there since the 6th grade, because that's the entry level in the public school system. I had been in private all my life until then, and you have to get in the 6th grade so they can test your skills and see if you actually have any musical talent. I don't think that I do, but my mom had musical talent and my dad was a professional musician during engineering school. So there's my cousins up, they've all got the music genes. My uncle, I guess it runs heavily on the Davis side of the family, but no, they're like, no, you would be 2 years behind. So you're taking PE and you're taking home ec. Disgusting. Okay, Jamie, have fun. I know you're getting ready for your move. So yeah. Oh, Kathy says she likes making venison roast. I have never had that. I did have home ec in middle school, but all I remember was cooking elephant ears, okay? We made chocolate chip cookies, and I already knew how to do that because we could do that at home. I don't need to go to a class, especially in a school where there was no AC and it was just like you have to turn on the oven. But the nightmare project wasn't the button, it was having to do the purse. And I kinda put on an act for the teacher. I wish they'd had drama in my schools because I could have taken an acting class or been in drama instead. That would have been more my thing as a child, because I put on a big act for her that I didn't know what I was doing, and I need your help, and she basically did 90% of the project for me. And then at the end of the school year, I had to bring it home, and I had a baby sister that was much, much younger than me, and she got very upset because she wanted the purse that my teacher basically sewed for me, and at first she gave me a B, but then she had a private conference with me and said she changed her mind and that I had an A, although she had done 90% of it. And, I was just like, as she was, "Let me show you," and I'd say, "Can you show me again? Can you show me can you help me with this project?" And she basically did 90% of the project. And, then I brought it home at the end of the school year because I didn't even care. It was just in my home ec locker. I didn't care. And, my sister got very upset about it, and she asked me if she could have it, even though I had no intention to ever use it, and I said no. And then my mom had to go down to a fabric store and buy all the pieces, um, and get the old sewing machine out that she hadn't used in years and sew another one, an identical copy to the one that I had made or the teacher made for me in class so that my sister could say that she had one too. But my mom did it, bless her. Um, you had to make a jacket, says Kathy. We also had electricity. I learned how to wire a lamp. The boys sat around and smoked. Can make chocolate chip cookies right off the chocolate chip bag. Yeah, back when I was a kid, you actually had to, mix everything together the old fashioned way. Because I'm that old, Jason, and I'm going to be even a year older this Sunday. If you're around, Jason, feel free to come to the my birthday live. I don't know what time it's going to be. Hey, Hearts. Haven't seen you in a while. I know I come on like at a bad time for you. How you doing, Hearts? One of my mods. No, my birthday, Lori, is Sunday, and I plan on doing a YouTube live. And we're not even gonna probably talk true crime. I mean, we can do whatever you guys want to do. So that'll be sometime on Sunday, probably in the afternoon. I have no idea what time. We're supposed to have bad weather all weekend, so I don't know if my Thai sponsor family is going to be able to come over. And most of the people, my friends that I have in my life, they either live in another state or they're deceased. I don't have any family. I have my cousins, but they're on the other side of the country. So I'm not having any festivities here unless they decide to come over, and I know at least one of them will be working. So it's probably not going to work out for them, but that's okay. Then I can come on and I can have my on live birthday. Yeah, Lori, I hope you are subscribed and you hit that bell icon, can I speak? And then you'll get notified when I come on. Or live way north of you. Absolutely, Jason. You're welcome to come. I trust you, dude. I'll give you my address. If you can get here from Michigan before Sunday, you're welcome to come. Yeah, most of my gold community friends are on the East Coast or the Midwest, or even some are in Canada. And there's Humble. He's up in Seattle. He's busy because he just got his channel monetized. I'm so proud of him. A very deserving person. If you guys aren't watching the Humble Stacker, you guys should watch him. I'm going out of town the weekend of the 17th, going on another staycay. Good for you. Yes, Hearts, a birthday party. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't have StreamYard or nothing to, like, bring other people in. I don't know how to do any of that yet. It'll just be me and everybody in the chat. But you know what? I wanna at my age and my health, I wanna celebrate the whole month. I even got a birthday card that I showed yesterday. I'll show it again on my birthday, but I got a birthday card. Yeah, he's from Everett. Says Donna McCoy. Humble is from Everett. I do celebrate the month. And we have a new friend here. Uh, I know you probably haven't seen him yet, Hearts, but there's a friend from Israel that has come in, Sarap. And he's an internet friend. He's a YouTube friend. And he has donated, like, I don't know, maybe 20 super chats or something. He even sent me a birthday PayPal. So we'll talk about it all on my birthday. Um, yeah, I know. Like it, I could do this the rest of my life and probably not make enough money on here though to pay myself back for the first 5 years and 4 months of this. So yeah, I haven't seen him either, Kathy. But there is a big time difference between here and Israel. It's probably tomorrow there, but he seems to be able to come in a lot. Yes, I love Humble. He's very well respected. He's a good guy. And you're pretty well respected too, Missy. Is your channel monetized yet, Hearts? Because I know you have a Hearts of Gold Prospecting has a YouTube channel, everybody. Are you monetized, Hearts? Oh, not yet? Okay. I think the biggest channel that comes in here that's one of my mods is Curmudgeon Alaska. But he's pretty busy all the time. So you are not monetized. Not yet. Just keep working at it. Well, yeah, considering where you are, it's probably the ground is probably still frozen, so you're gonna have to get out and make the summer content. Make as many videos as you can and then have some in reserve for when the fall and the winter come. I had a father and a stepmother that lived just a little north in Canada. And they basically said it's winter 9 months out of the year. Jason Bender, hello, Wisconsin. Do you think she'll ever come back, John Walsh, and do a program to promote missing people? I don't know. Like, how old is John Walsh now? I think it really helps. Now, it's not like the old days, though, where we just had the big three networks. And then eventually we had Fox and there was four. Now you're looking at a cable market, you're looking at streaming. There's, Apple, there's Amazon, there's Netflix. Kathy says older than me by a day. Who, me? Do you have a birthday coming too, Kathy? Oh, John Walsh, he's 80? Oh my gosh. Well, I was just a child when Adam disappeared. I heard a noise. I thought it was my Amazon delivery, but it's my neighbor. It's kind of sad because she has an elderly cat that's at least 20 and the other cat has passed. And this cat seems to have dementia. And when she opens the door, I mean, it still has its hearing, but I can hear the crying. And it's not just like, "Hey, how you doing, mom?" It's just like the cat is crying for help. I just hear it screaming sometimes. It's so disturbing. That is true, April. I was young also when Adam disappeared. Yeah. When I did a video, if you want to go back on the lives, the live tab, everybody, I recently did a video because somebody brought that up in one of my chats, like, "Hey, will you do a video about Adam Walsh?" And so I did. And then I realized, like, oh my God, if he was alive today, he wouldn't be that much younger than me. Yes, that would make sense because the son Adam was born in 1973 and he was missing at the mall in 1982. Yeah, I remember I lived on the Gulf Coast at the time, and my mom had a good friend from Connecticut that lived in Hollywood, Florida. And that's where all this happened. And I remember like, oh, Hollywood, Florida, it was a big deal. And then what I remember even more is when I moved back to LA, and we had talked about this a couple of times in some of my shows. In fact, recently I think we talked about it. There was a little girl, and I think her name was well, it was definitely Laura, and I think it was like was it Bradbury or Bradford? I'll have to look it up, but she was they say a distant cousin of Ricky Schroeder, and it was actually her mother and Ricky's mom, Diane, who I've actually met before. Um, but a million years ago. Um, the missing girl's mom and Ricky Schroeder's mom were first cousins. So I guess Ricky would be considered a first cousin once removed or a second cousin. And he was doing Silver Spoons at the time, and he actually, came forward on national television to try to get attention to the case because she disappeared in Joshua Tree National Park here in Southern California, and she was one of the first missing children to ever have her face um, posted on a milk carton. Yeah, and I remember uh, just being out on my own for the first time, being very young, being in school, being out on my own, and walking from my place to the shopping center to go grocery shopping. And her, wanted posters were like all over the windows, and it was on the news like every single day here. It was a big deal. Kathy says she was born in 61. Well, you are my elder, Kathy. Hearts of Gold says you are 58, baby. You're just a baby. I wish I could just start all over again and be 30. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with my life, but there are certain things, especially health things, that it's like, oh, what I coulda, shoulda. Should have known these things earlier. Kathy Mowry says going on 25. Not me going back, always forward. Kathy says 65. Wow. Donna McCoy was born in 68. We're all in the same age range here. Apparently, I looked at my analytics, and I have a lot of older viewers. Not old, but older. I don't have like, the younger generation watching this. Jason, so you were saying that the Nancy Guthrie case, yeah, they're looking into the sheriff. He might be guilty. He has something to do with the missing mother? What? I didn't say that. What? What's going on, Jason? Somebody else came in. Oregon Pride came in and said that they're honing in on a suspect. Now, it may have been mentioned by myself or by others here at times, like, God, almost looks like Nanos, knows somebody or knows who's involved because he seems like he's intentionally done everything to screw this case up. Um, but we're just saying that tongue in cheek. I mean, I don't really think the guy's involved. But at this point, I can believe anything. So who is looking into the sheriff? I know they're looking into possibly having him removed from his position since it's an elected position and he has to be recalled. Like I said, in my mind, everybody's a suspect, but he would not be at the top of my list. And also, in my opinion, nobody has been ruled out as a suspect. I don't care what the sheriff's department says or what he says. Nobody is ruled out. And everybody here on my channel is innocent until proven guilty. But I haven't called out any like this is my suspect here. And I do have a video about the list, and it's not my list as like, oh, I think this person's number 1 and this person's number 20. No, it's the list of people that have come out from day one. Like, well, this has happened, then this happened, then this happened. And then this fellow came into the cast of characters, and this actor came into our play here, or our soap opera, or whatever you want to call it. Hart says, I don't think you can rule out the sheriff department. Can't rule out anybody in this case. It's too crazy. Remember, this is a high profile person. She is the mother of Savannah Guthrie. That makes her a celebrity herself in Tucson. Tucson's a small town. Remember, Tucson is 20 minutes from Tucson. LA is an hour from LA. That's a small town to me. It may be one of the larger cities in Arizona, but to me, Phoenix is a small town. And that's a much bigger city than Tucson, I believe. So, I think a lot of people in that town knew who she was, especially she was making Today Show appearances. And then Savannah was coming into town, and her and the sister and the mom were filming for the Today Show in a local restaurant. Kathy says to Hearts, that's just about everywhere. Good morning. Where are you coming in from, ND? And I've gone way too long today. Boy, I miss my friend Sarap coming in. Where are you, Sarap? You are 30 years old. Oh, you're too young for me. I'm happy to have you watch these videos, but you're young enough to be my son. This whole thing is extremely sad, Hearts, and it keeps me awake at night. I feel like I almost know this woman now. And I can feel like Savannah's emotions. And I've never met Savannah. London. You know what? I have a couple of DNA tests that I've done, and I've got a lot of British, Irish, and German blood. But my British blood, a lot of it is descended from London, England. And I have actually been to London, but when I was wee young. Ethan Mitchell. We were just talking about this the other night. One of my mods was like, April, you should buy a map, like a world map, and we should put pens on it. And of course, I can't keep of everybody that's come in here, but we've had the UK, we've had Ireland, Germany, Italy, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Syria, Israel, Iran, Brazil. That's amazing. Welcome in, London, England. And you have family from Ireland and Germany. Well, maybe we're related since my family is from England, Ireland, and Germany. But we go way far back to those countries. Like, my family and my parents and their parents and their parents, most all were already born in the United States. We go way back. But we got some royalty from Wales that went in like, I guess took over part of Ireland. I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 16 and 1700s. Hart says your family goes back to the Azores. Interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting to do the genealogical studies. A lot of people are scared of that, but I got nothing to hide. I'm a detective. Like, they can have my DNA. I don't care. Well, that's awesome. What time is it in London right now, Ethan? And I hope you're subscribed because I haven't seen you before. Make sure you're subscribed. And Sunday afternoon, which will probably be late in the evening your time, there's going to be my birthday party on here. So I hope you can come. Everybody here, you're all invited. Anybody watching on the replay, you're invited. I have no clue what time it's going to be. Bring your party hats. Jay says she's 59. Oops. Did you forget how old you were, Jay? Were you the one who said you were 58? Yes, you did. Okay. Now you're 59. 3 more days, I'll be another year older. You'll be forever 59, Jay. Yeah, I've been to London. I was, in London as a child. My grandma was of Dutch royalty, which she lost for marrying a common working man. He worked for the railroad. Oh, wow, my grandfather worked for the railroad. Yeah, we only thought we were related to the Irish side through my mom, but long after my dad's death and all these DNA companies, these genealogical companies started coming out, I found out that they're Welsh relatives from Wales that, a lot of them went over to Ireland, like, in the 1600s or something, and they, like, kinda took over the country, and they were of UK royalty. And I asked my mom, like, "What do you think my dad would think if, he were alive today and he knew about all this?" And she said, "Oh, he would be totally mind blown." I'm actually writing a book about the French monarchy and their association with England. Wow, that's interesting. I've been to France as well, but once again, as a child. And you know what's really odd? Maybe not for you guys, but for me, I have that video that I re-released because I had to do some re-edits on the haunted house in the Hollywood Hills, and it talks a little bit about um, the lady from the Mamas and the Papas, Cass Elliot, and her death. And I don't know how many times I've gone through that video in the editing process, and I just recently caught in my own video that I made that when she passed away in London, in the London flat, that that was in July 1974. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that was July 1974." And then finally, after seeing the video like, 20 times, it went off in my ding, 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 ding. Guess who else was in London in July 1974? April Davis. Me. April Davis PI. Now, I wasn't there the day that that happened, but I was there at the beginning of the month in July for about a week. Wimbledon was actually going on. I know we were there during what would have been the July 4th celebration in the USA, but we weren't home for it because we were in England. And then at the end of the trip, after going through France and Switzerland and Italy, on the flight back, the plane stopped in London to get the final flight to JFK before we, had to stay another night because it was just too many more flights to take. But like, I was like, oh, wow, I was in England for like a week or so at the beginning of July. And then I know when we flew back, it was after my father's birthday, but before my sister's birthday. So, and she was just a baby. She wasn't allowed to go with us. She's never forgiven my parents for that one. Um, we were home by her birthday, and I think Cass died like I don't remember if it was the 27th, the 28th, the 29th. It's in my video, but it finally, she had been performing there and walking around in London, and I was like, oh my God, Cass Elliot was walking the streets of London in July 1974, and that's when I was there. Like, I was very, very young though. Austrian on dad's side, English on mom's, says Jay. Yeah, like that's crazy. He raised five daughters and had a big cottage and five family guest house. The book is called It's All Frankish, Frankish being the old word for the country language of France. Interesting. Vin, you're from the UK. Are you in the UK right now, sir? Vin Cruz? That's amazing. Where are you at are you in the UK now or are you just from the UK? Oh, thank you for the red hearts, everybody. Yeah, we're getting way off topic here. We've already talked about Nancy Guthrie today. Oh, you are in the UK right now. Where are you at? You don't need to give your exact home address, but are you in England? Are you in Wales? Are you in Scotland? Where are you at, Vin? I was just talking with Ethan here, who's come in from London tonight. What time is it in London right now? It is. You're from Scotland. Yeah, I've got some Scottish relatives myself. 5:31 Pacific Daylight Time in Los Angeles right now on Thursday, April 9th. What time is it in Scotland right now? You know, one of my favorite TV shows on the planet is filmed in Glasgow, Mrs. Brown's Boys, and it's an Irish show that's absolutely the funniest thing I've ever seen on television, but we don't get it here. But I've seen some of it on the internet, some of the older episodes from like years ago, because I know they all started like in the 90s and this thing is still going and it's just gone, it's just blown up all over the world. But that is filmed in Scotland, Mrs. Brown's Boys. What an incredible show. Yes. I've seen, I think the first season, because they've had multiple series. They've had movies, they've had multiple series, they've had books. They do a traveling play. That's, you know, like a Broadway play, but it's not on Broadway. It's like in the UK and in Scotland and Europe and Australia, and they go all over the world. And it's just what a talented group of people. And apparently the guy and his wife who plays his daughter, well, he plays a she, obviously, you know, and no, it's not a transgender type of thing. It's just the day they went to film a radio voiceover to do a radio show, the lady who was a famous actor who got hired to be Mrs. Brown, she had a kidney infection and couldn't make the gig. And so the guy that created it, wrote it, produced it, he just filled in so that the other actors could say their lines, and then he just read her lines and did it with that like Mrs. Brown's voice, you know, that kind of thing. And then the sound editor was like, "What actress did you hire to do the voice?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, she couldn't make it that day. It was me. And but we're gonna bring her in later, and we're gonna dub over my voice." And the sound editor was like, "No, no, 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 no. You've got it perfect. You've got to do it." And then she, you know, like Tootsie, she had to put on a dress and a wig and high heel shoes, and she was Mrs. Brown. That's how it happened. It was never intentional for her to play, you know, for him, the guy that does it, to play a woman. And then one of the actors that plays his daughter in the show in real life is his wife, and all of his kids are in it. His grandkids are in it. His sister, and she's like super famous in Ireland. Um, like it's crazy. They're all like related, but the guy, he actually lives in Florida. Like, you guys, if you don't know that show, look it up. Mrs. Brown's Boys. It's just the funniest thing I've ever seen. And because it's in the UK and it's not here on American TV, they can push the envelope like they can in Canada. They can push the envelope. They can say words and language that you would never be able to say, like even here on YouTube or on American television. It's just fantastic. Check it out. It is hysterical. What's the guy's name? His name is Bren. See, I know a YouTuber named Bren, and his father is a famous Bren who was famous comedian in Ireland who actually worked with this guy. I just can't think of the name right now. YouTube is hard. I'm another year older on Sunday. It's hard. Sometimes the name will get stuck. Let me look here. This guy is, if you haven't seen this guy, oh my God. I just thought of it. It takes me 2 minutes to think of a name now. Brendan O'Carroll. His son is in it. His grandsons are in it. His wife is in it. His sister is in it. His sister plays Winnie McGugan. You know, she's one of the best actors on there. It's hysterical and it's so over the top. And when he breaks the fourth wall in acting and he talks to the audience, and I don't mean he'll talk to the studio audience, but he'll talk to the TV audience. And I'd never seen anybody do that until I was a kid. I was in a movie theater in New Jersey and I saw Robert Hayes do it in Airplane, and he broke the fourth wall and he said something. And everybody, like, we almost fell out of our chairs on the floor. I was like, I've never seen an actor do that before in a TV show, a movie, or in a play. And this Brendan O'Carroll, he does it all the time, where he breaks the fourth wall. It's just, and then everybody's trying to keep a straight face. Oh, here's another person came in. Mark, I'm Irish descent, living in Wales. My dad's family goes back to Wales. Wow. Where are all these people? How are all these people coming in from the UK? Yeah, he does live in Florida. I think in or near Orlando. And apparently he's got what's that little town that it's, because they film it in Glasgow, Scotland, but he lives in Ireland, and it's not like a big city. It's like a small town. They talk about it in the show, like where the show takes place. Like the show takes place in the town where this guy and his family. There's like 11 kids in his immediate family. Um, it's in the same town. Where does it take place? I'm trying to type this and do YouTube at the same time is not easy. Well, I know it's filmed in Scotland. Let's see. I'm going to look this up. Where does, I know we're getting way off topic here, but where does, if you're just seeing this, it's worth you guys coming in just for that. Yeah, it's near Dublin, but it's not. There's a town, there's like a neighborhood that's, it's like a suburb of Dublin. What is it? Does anybody know? Because they always talk about the neighborhood. And it's, his name is Brendan O'Carroll, and he's the one who just created this, like in a flash. And you know, it's been going for more than 30 years now. Um, they talk about the name of the town though. That's like, it's either near Dublin or it's a suburb of Dublin. What is it? If anybody here knows it, let me know. Uh, oh, there's the Irish flag. I know that. Yeah, I'm British, Irish, and German. Well, I'm an American, but that's my roots. What is the name of the town, everybody? See, we don't get the show here, but they released like one of the seasons, which was just a few episodes on Amazon. And that's how I saw it, like through Amazon Prime. And I was like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And one of the guys that plays his son, who is actually about the same age, that guy, he's brilliant. And because he left the show, and it's never been the same without that guy. Like, oh my God, because and he's like one of the only people on the cast that's actually not related to the family. It's either, you know, his sister or his sons or his wife or his in-laws or his grandkids. But then there's like a few characters that are just like, one of the guys that plays his son Mark is like one of his roadies from when he was doing. But there was a like a little suburb of like Dublin, and they talk about it like that's where it takes place in this, you know, and it's just like, you know, I've got family that goes back to there, you know, but probably decades, centuries ago. Uh, and then this guy I follow on YouTube, who also happens to be named Brendan, his father was a very famous Brendan, one of the most famous comedians in Ireland, who was named Brendan Grace, and he's actually knows or knew Brendan O'Carroll, and they've collaborated together on work, according to the Bren Grace that I know through YouTube. And it's just like, what a small world. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen Mrs. Brown's Boys? And he's like, have I seen Mrs. Brown's Boys? Like, are you kidding? Like, you know, he's an Irishman. And I'm asking him, like, yeah, have you seen Mrs. Brown's Boys? He must have thought I was a total moron. But yeah, wow, this is amazing. All these people coming in. How are you guys all coming in tonight from London and Wales? That's crazy. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you guys are subscribed. I'm going to go off the air soon. I was hoping our friend from Tel Aviv, our new friend Sarap, I would hope he would come in tonight. I'm getting spoiled, you know, because he comes in almost every show and he just starts sending those super chats. He's just, you know, trigger happy. He's always a hoot. I'm meeting so many new people here. It's really cool. But if you're around on Sunday, which will be kind of late for you guys, but I'll have my YouTube birthday party on Sunday. Well, like I said, we've had Belgium, we've had England, we've had Scotland, Germany, Israel, Iran, Syria, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. A lot of countries we're adding to the list. Yeah, I'll see you Sunday, Hearts. Thank you for coming, my dear. And thank you for being one of my mods. I had to slim down the list to 3, and you're still standing, hun. We love you back, Hearts. Oh, I appreciate you. I've learned so much from my mods. This lady Trisha, she's been helping me out, and she's got a YouTube channel too. I don't know if hers is monetized yet, but she's really helped me a lot. She was the one that told me yesterday that I need to start my Amazon wish list, so I did. But I'm having a problem with one of the items on there. So I don't know if anybody wants it. I put it on my community post. It's there. It's just an option. Wow, so many people coming in tonight from all different places in the world. That's amazing. Yeah, well, this video is really about Nancy Guthrie. You guys, you'll have to watch it on the replay if you're just coming in. If you guys are overseas, you might not know that Nancy Guthrie is the 84-year-old mom of Today co-host Savannah Guthrie. And on February 1st, the early morning hours, middle of the night hours, on a full moon, Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her residence, never to be seen or heard from again. You're from India. We've had several people from India. Have you been in here before? Is your name Jai? Oh, first time. Well, I hope you're subscribed. Feel free to come back on Sunday. I'm having an online birthday party. Don't know the time yet. Wow, India. Yeah, I've had quite a few that have come in from India. I know at times they've been some of my top viewers. I'm not sure why that is, that I'm catching the algorithm in India, but welcome in. Yeah, I haven't seen some of my regulars tonight. Some people are complaining. They're like, you're coming on too early or you're coming on too late. And, there's thousands of people that watch. Only, a small handful of those are subscribed. But, you know, I have to go. They give me daily charts. Like, this is the time that your viewers are mostly on YouTube. And I have to kind of get into that. There's like a graph and it's got like different colors. And like the darker colors are like, this is where your viewers are the most. And then my own schedule. Like, I'm not the morning person. I could never go live in the morning. But if I go too late at night, people are like, "Oh, I'm on the East Coast. I'm already asleep," or "You're coming in while I'm eating dinner or while I'm cooking," or So you guys can always come in, and watch the replays. Oh, here's somebody else. It's 6 a.m. there. HD Kai, your hat is dope. Yeah, this is a Disney hat. I've done a lot of work for Disney, but Disney did not give this to me. Someone in the Hollywood Hills gifted this to me. Yeah, I got this as a gift, and it was brand new, never used. It still had like the little cardboard insert. 2:30 my time is perfect. I'm glad because you come in all the time, Kathy, and you've helped me out a lot too. Really appreciate you. I know we're missing the Kellys today. I've got like 3 Kellys. Well, Kelly Sullivan was here earlier. Yeah. So she came in. But I haven't seen Kelly Alley and I haven't seen Kelly Ray yet. If you guys are watching on the playback, hello to the other 2 Kellys. I worked on PI stuff. I'm a licensed private investigator. I also worked on a crap ton of their TV shows. Yeah, Disney owns a lot. Lot of TV shows they own. Well, you know what? The best thing to learn is to watch these lives over and over and over again, and then it'll help you learn English. Watch YouTube. Watch YouTube channels where they're speaking English. This is true crime. It's not my niche. I mean, I know a lot about it because I'm a detective, but I have other things on my channel besides true crime. Make sure you guys are sub. Hit that bell icon. Go check out my playlist. Go check out my long form content videos. Go check out my channel description with all my links. Yeah, TV is great for learning English. But Disney, I done a lot of stuff behind the scenes, investigations, administrative stuff with legal stuff. Worked on security on a crap ton of their shows. Like, oh God, I didn't even know all the lists of. It just goes on and on and on. Thank you, Jai. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right because I know a person in Thailand named Jai, and it's spelled the same way. So the internet has probably made detective work easier and harder. A little bit of both. You are watching Wildfire now. I don't know what that is, Kathy. Is that a TV show? Keep thinking I'm hearing the Amazon Man. And for those of you that were watching, I've been talking about my beta test that I did with MLB, with Major League Baseball. That has gone silent for a while. So we will see how that works out. I think I'll wait until the whole baseball season is over, and then I'll do like a big long form content video and we'll talk about it. I wish I had energy. I am a recovered cancer patient, Jai, and I also have some very serious side effects. So that's amazing that you would say that. That makes me feel really good. That pumps me up because it's hard for me just to walk down the driveway. Um, oh, it's about a racing family. You mean like race car drivers? It's on Netflix? Yeah, I just had Netflix recently for a month because in January, my friend's granddaughter had a brand new show that came out, and she was a beginner, and now she's famous because of that show. Oh, horse racing. Okay. Yeah, never heard of that. So I had my 1 month Netflix subscription again, and then I caught up on some of the Stranger Things episodes. And then I was like, well, I have to delete this now because I got to sign up for the Sportsnet LA. You used to only be able to do it through cable, and I can't afford that. I haven't afforded that for well, probably more than 10 years. But I can get the Sportsnet LA Plus through MLB and just have that channel only, and that's like $30 a month. So there went my Netflix. Because during the time I was treating and trying to survive, and I had no baseball, I thought I would die, not from the cancer, but from the lack of baseball. So, um, if I were homeless living in my car, I would still pay for that baseball subscription just to, I kind of live, March through October as long as the baseball season is going. And then in December and January and February, I'm kind of down until, like baseball starts up again. But wow, I know a little bit about horse racing. That's pretty big out here in Southern California, believe it or not. You have T-Mobile AirNet. Horses are gorgeous, but I am scared to death of them. Yeah, I've ridden them as a child, but it was scary because at one place where my mom wanted me to learn to ride and I didn't want to learn, they put me up on a racehorse, and he was the biggest horse in their barn, and he was like a retired racehorse, and that was my starter. Like, I was terrified. I've ridden a few horses in my life, and I'm an athletic person, but horse riding is not my jam. Now, my friend that passed away, she could do anything like that. She even did it like as a stunt woman, like in the X Files and stuff. She's like, "Oh yeah, my sister had a horse. Like it's so easy." And I'm like, "Oh no, 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 I'm not a horse person." I mean, I like to see them and feed them and like be close to them, but I, I'm you couldn't pay me to get on a horse now. My kids are my fur babies. They're sleeping right now. My bunny and my kitty. I'm hoping Amazon gets here because I really need that car charger for this replacement phone. Yeah, I know a little bit about the racing, although I'm not really a proponent of horse racing, but, yeah, you would never see me, like, living on a farm and riding a horse. I'm too much a city gal. That is not my jam. This video has just gone so far off the deep end here as far as, like, I did come on the air to talk about Nancy, and if that's why you're here to talk about Nancy Guthrie, then you need to, watch the replay. We talked a little bit about the Duggars too, but, I'm not the expert in that. I mean, I know enough to wing it, but, I don't wanna say anything and misspeak on that subject because that's just such a serious subject. It's very hard to talk about that. There are certain things on YouTube we can't go down that rabbit hole. But, hey, I'm gonna, sign off. I appreciate everybody that's come in. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. I'm gonna check in on the, Big Bear Eagles to see how they're doing, the babies. We had, 2 Easter babies, Easter Eve and Easter Day, and Um, they're doing the head bops right now, bopping each other, fighting for the food, and I'm gonna go check in on, Jackie and Shadow, get some dinner started, and, I'll remind everybody, I don't know what time, but if you oh my god! I'm just getting ready to go here we've been talking about you, my friend. Here we go. Oh gosh. Well, we're gonna have to stay a few minutes longer. It's a wrap! Make sure you come in Sunday afternoon, my friend. That's gonna be my birthday show on April the 12th it'll be Sunday my time. It's probably already the next day. It'll be like Monday your time, but if you can come in, you're welcome to come to my birthday show. Amazing. We were just talking about you. You're welcome, Sir Ralph. I still wanna know more about you, my friend. Yeah, good night to you, sir, or should I say good morning? What time is it? Yeah, I was just getting ready to go off. I'd asked her, I was like, it seems so quiet without my friend Sir Ralph." Oh my gosh. Yeah, my goal was only set for an hour and then it expired and I never reset it. It's 4 AM. Are you like me? Are you an insomniac and you're sleepless at night? Good night, Kathy. Yeah, it's 5:54 PM, Thursday, April 9th. That's Pacific Daylight Time. It's a wrap! Everybody give him a thumbs up on those, super chats. I appreciate you. Yeah, me too. And I actually fell asleep a little early last night, Sir Rap, but then something woke me up, and then I couldn't get back to sleep, and then just when I did, it was, I had to get up because I had to pee in the middle of the night, and then, the pill alarm went off in the morning, and then I just couldn't go back to bed, and I had some hours sleep last night, but they weren't, like, back to back to back. It's here and there. I guess since all this medical stuff happened to me, it's harder and harder for me to sleep at night. It's like something's not wired right in my brain anymore. So I'm tired all the time. I'm exhausted all the time. But there's a lot of people awake at night. But it's in the morning there now. Well, it's 4 AM. You should be sleeping. It's funny, I'm on Threads. I used to be on Twitter, which is now X, but I'm on Threads, and, people come in all the time in the middle of the night, and they're like, "Hey, anybody else up at 4 AM? Welcome to the 4 AM anxiety club." Oh my gosh. It's a wrap. That's crazy. You don't need to do this every time, Sarap. And besides the guy that sent me the birthday card, and that was the good JR investigator, you were the only person that sent me something privately as a birthday gift. And it's not even my birthday yet until Sunday, but until the 12th. But thank you so much. That means the world to me. I'm just, getting my channel started, and I've had a very expensive month with the phone breaking and the medical stuff and the dentist and just the medical nightmare of my life the last, 7, 8 years. It means so much to me. I will see my first royalties check on May 21st. And I wanted to do like a video about how I got remonetized and what to do, what not to do, and this is how much my first check was going to be, and yada, yada, yada. But I heard a lot of people said that YouTube, they don't like that. So I don't want to do anything that would, make YouTube upset with me, because this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, was to get monetized, unmonetized, and remonetized. The hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm a master PI, but YouTube is the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. And I encourage everybody here to try it, but don't expect it to be an easy road. That's just amazing. So every time I get ready to be like, okay, I'm going to leave, and somebody else comes in. And we had London came in, and we had Wales came in. We had Ireland came in, or somebody who was from Ireland. And then we had Sarap came in from Israel. Like last night, we had Belgium. I've never seen Belgium before in the chat. Yeah, you go back to bed, Sarap. I think he went back to sleep. That's amazing, because he usually comes in during the hours that, he would be sleeping, and the rest of us are awake or we're just getting ready for dinner. Amazing. Well, okay. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody. If you haven't seen the beginning, feel free to watch it on the replay, and I'll see you as soon as possible, or as soon as any news breaks on this Nancy Guthrie case. Love you all.